report examining unexplained aerial phenomena says Canadians reported more than 1,000 UFO sightings last year.
While many reports are eventually explained as aircraft, satellites, or atmospheric events, some do remain unexplained, raising some interesting scientific questions.
Well, now, over
Gary,
1,000. Yep.
live long and prosper, my friends. I've been waiting all day to do that.
You got me. Where was I? Now I forget where I wanted to go. Thanks, Eddie.
No problem.
Canada's UFO numbers, and this is from the Canadian UFO Survey of 2025. Do you know that there's one sighting every 8 hours in this country?
That's
something
insane.
that people believe to be a UFO. And sightings are reported nationwide, every province and territory in the country. Somebody sees something. Ontario leads the country with sightings. And Quebec and British Columbia are not far behind. Most sightings turn out to be simply lights at night, reflecting off clouds or, the atmosphere, that kind of thing. And only, believe it or not, only 3 to 4% remain unexplained. But 3 to 4% doesn't sound like a big figure, but when you're talking about out there somewhere, that is a pretty big figure. Are you a believer, Eddie?
I am. I am. I think I've always been a believer. Science fiction programming aside, just as a young man, when I started realizing how small the Earth actually was in terms of what the universe represents to us, that just from a mathematical perspective, it's just almost astronomically impossible that there isn't some forms. I'm not saying form, other forms of civilization out there. We're just a speck in the universe, and I'm a firm believer that yes, there is intelligent life out there. Point one, then point two. Yes, I believe intelligent life has visited our planet.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do. Yeah.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
Well, first of all, you're talking about the 3%, and
right.
There is just so much out there, even before the internet and Photoshop and whatnot, and video editing tools became prevalent out there. There has been a lot of documented clips, videos, exchanges of the most fascinating things that seem really impossible for any of this to have happened because of something that human beings did or created, which pushes me to believe this is a force outside of nature, of Earth and human beings. You see it, you've seen it before in videos. As a matter of fact, here, I don't know if you know, but there's quite a few films and videos about an incident over Plaza Bonaventure, right near our neighborhood, that happened in 1990. Footage of a saucer right above Plaza Bonaventure that kind of hovered there for like 2 hours or so. Security guards saw it. Customers at the hotel saw it. It was all reported. Large circular oval object with changing lights and whatnot. While air traffic control saw nothing around the location or at altitude, and the Canadian military radar picked up nothing at all either. So it's incidents like this that I've read about, seen, that make me question the fact that, not question the fact, solidify the fact that, you know what, we are not alone. I really believe that we are not alone just based on what I've seen. I try not to go by conspiracy theories. We're always hearing about Roswell, New Mexico, and what happened there. Well, that's still the biggest secret, that's still the biggest secret that the government has been keeping for the last 80 years. I mean, we're not going to find out. Maybe at some point we will, but right now it's just all being kept hush hush. Did something happen there? Did something not happen there? But just by doing a little bit of research and digging, you can actually see a lot of old footage of weird things that are hovering above in our skies. And that's what makes me believe that we're not alone, Gary. That, and I'm just thinking about the astronomical mathematical fact that we just cannot be alone. When you take into consideration we're just a speck in the universe, that there's got to be something out there. That's my feeling.
Mm-hmm. Christian?
I mean, given the fact that there were several hearings in the US Congress in 2023, 2024, they even renamed it now. It's not a UFO anymore, it's a UAP, because those objects, which were actually filmed by the US military in hundreds of thousands of footages, like really well reserved. I think the US government and other governments also in Europe came to the conclusion, not because only of the internet, that it's now time to release some of the footage, which they did. There were a lot of people from the CIA, from the military under oath. They explained what happened and that those UAPs were actually there, and that they even try reverse engineering of some of them. And those are like, those are just the facts. Like there were videos which you could not like revert, like from the 2000s, from the 90s, from the 80s. We did not have the technique in order to produce such films in the past, like the footage is the footage. And now seeing the fact that US government is making it public because they couldn't hold the information back anymore, because people seeing what is actually happening, Okay, there can be a drone here and there, but especially US military, with the footage which they released for the public, they said we cannot identify it. And given the fact that the US government or the military admits that they don't know what it is, says a lot, right? They never admit anything which is bigger than them. But I think it was time for them now to come up with a lot of information. In the 90s and 80s, especially in Belgium, we had reports of thousands of people over a period of 89 and 90 from the military, from the police department, from thousands of eyewitnesses talking about the same objects in the airspace. Now, what the US military said is that they have footage of those, we don't know, like vehicles, whatever it is, which is not only dropping 80,000 feet in 1 second, under 1 second. They have it on footage. They cannot explain this. They said maybe this is like a problem with the sensor or the camera, but like this is just getting more and more. Like, how many problems can be there with your camera or with the sensor system? They see those subjects or objects also running through the water. That's why they said it's not a UFO anymore. It's not UAP. It's just in the water, in space, or like in the air, like everywhere. Those phenomena are getting more and more and seen. Yeah. The fact that the US Congress is having hearings under oath, it's just it's mind-boggling, I would say. But we're so caught up with our problems in Iran or whatever, in our gas bills, that we don't pay too much attention to that.
Yeah, you seem to get a flurry of activity every so often where you'll hear of reports not only in Canada but elsewhere, and there has to be something to spark those kinds of reports coming in from different areas of the world. And I know I'm not surprised British Columbia is on the list, because I lived in British Columbia for 2 years, and there were a lot of people with a lot of very different ideas, and so I'm not surprised, and I'm not really saying that in a manner to demean their reports, just that some of what I remember, like leave you scratching your head for sure. But I totally believe that there is we do have other life forms out there. What what shapes and what those life forms are, I have no idea. I'm thinking though that as time goes on, as attractive as maybe the planet Earth was at some point, I'm thinking they're kind of looking now and thinking, yeah, it's not really where we want to be. And when I say that, I look at, especially in the last couple of years, what we're engaged in as far as conflicts, and then how we seem to be going out of our way to destroy some aspects of our lives and our surroundings, and other things, just like there's a breakdown on this planet, and I just can't see where it'd be really attractive to any kind of intelligent life form that's out there. Maybe, who knows, maybe they're so advanced that they would have the fixes that would cure all of the ills on the planet, in which case, great.
You're welcome. Yeah, come here.
Yeah, but then when they get here, who says they want us? So there's that side of it too.
They might look at us as no more advanced than the amoeba or an ant, for that fact. I mean, they might be so advanced in terms of evolution. I mean, they're the universe is what, 14 billion years, 14 billion years old. That's a lot of time, and the Earth is only 4 billion years old. So you're talking about potentially a civilization having 10 billion years of evolution ahead of it if they still exist. So yeah, Gary, there's a lot of stuff here for science fiction movies that we can come up with from a theory perspective. But yeah, who knows what they are? Are they humanoid? Are they not? Are they energy? Who the hell knows? I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities if you're a Star Trek fan and you're into that kind of thing. But yeah, at the end of the day, Gary, I really believe there's something substantial out there. There are numerous civilizations out there. Either A, they don't have the technology to contact us. B, they've been studying us for thousands and thousands of years and just haven't made the presence known.
I agree with both of you as far as there is something, and to me, it's in the numbers now that they have 3 to 4% where they can't just attach some kind of reasonable explanation to the sightings. I would, if the number came in at 1%, yeah, okay, but the fact that we're as high as 4%, to me, speaks volumes when it comes to that sort of thing. Now, I do want to just...
The U.S. military... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, and even like the U.S. military is confirming it. They confirmed it. What else do you... I mean, if they admitting it, that there's something smarter or faster or more powerful than what they have in their artillery, yeah, that says it all, right?
Yeah, absolutely it does. Okay.
Well, first they have to release the Epstein files, and then they have to release all the UFO files because they're only sending out a little bit, not enough in my opinion. They got to get more out to the public if they're serious about it.
Yeah.
Here's the website for the Canadian UFO survey, And they have quite a website, actually. You can go back to 1989 surveys.